Today I have with me Kathy, who is our consulting practice lead for consumer, as well as Rajesh, who is the head of the entire consumer practice here at Bristlecone. And today we're going to be talking about last mile delivery, specifically around integration strategy. Last mile delivery is something that all of our clients are talking to us about. There's a lot of ways to approach it, and one thing where we're leading and helping them a lot with is how they integrate everything. So it's cohesive, works for the business, works for the end user as well. So Rajesh, kind of set the stage real quickly. Why is integration strategy so paramount when you're approaching last mile delivery?
I think the case of 3PL integration is around customer delight. We all know Amazon, Uber has spoiled us with giving us real-time visibility. And our customers always want to know when is the goods expected? Is it on schedule? Is it getting delayed? And I think a successful delivery strategy has to involve a solid 3PL integration. Okay. And secondly, more so is more than half of the delivery costs emerge actually from the last mile delivery. It's also equally important that how you measure your partner ecosystem. How do you react to changes? Are you proactive in managing missed deliveries? It all becomes centered around how well you are connected on your partner ecosystem. Kathy, you have any inputs?
Yes, thank you, Rajesh. Yes, there is one of the key in the last mile delivery. It is getting real-time accurate data. And right now, this is what is missing. And that which you mentioned causes a lot of issues in the cost of a delivery, in terms of a high cost of a inventory and a poor customer service.
Okay, I got to imagine though that these 3PL partners, they must have APIs. They must offer this data. So why the need to integrate? What are these companies that we're helping? What are they coming up short with? We'll start with you, Rajesh. I'd like to hear from you.
Okay. I think if you look at this last mile delivery, it's a very fragmented process, very labor intensive. There are small shipments. The trucks or the lorries have to multiple stops, drops, traffic conditions. It gets all very tricky to manage this, to keep things on schedule and obviously keep the connectivity with all the deliveries on. Luckily, there are technologies today that exist, whether it is GPS route, routers, route optimizers, electronic POD systems, which companies can use to do a fairly accurate last mile delivery tracking.
So what's the problem? If they exist, then what do they need us for?
So if I may chime in, the solution out there exists. However, the solution today, a lot of them are proprietary, is multiple party. They have a different kind of requirements and different setup and different data transformation formats and different communication protocols and integration procedure, which have caused a lot of integration issues because the process is complex. Customer expectation is high and event changes a lot. And you have multiple different scenarios of a last mile. You can ship to store, ship from online, buy from online, ship home. There's a split order, there's a combined order. So it's a complex the order scenarios. And with some of the system, it's a legacy. So with even the most advanced solution, you have to connect to a legacy system. So that causes some issues. And of course, the visibility requirement is high, and people want real-time data, and that will increase the integration complexity.
So if I got you right, there's probably, from what I just counted, 3 to 4 different partners that you're working with or technology that you're using for last mile. And it seems like, from what I'm hearing from our customers, a lot of this has been done ad hoc, kind of like duct taped together. So if a company is wanting to undo that and kind of do a whole holistic last mile strategy, how do they start? What's the first thing they would do, Kathy?
The first thing they need to do is really look at the solution, how they can align their business process, the solution, the integration architecture that align with the very specific business needs. That's at the strategic level. The second level really is on the foundational, which is make sure you have a master data set up properly. You have a rule-based validation process set up. And lastly, in the integration standpoint, make sure it's coordinated business rules to normalize, standardize, and mapping the data across your 3PLs based on different fulfillment scenario, and so that can streamline your process and to provide accurate tracking. Now, of course, internally, you need to make sure those systems internally is up to date, and you are able to have a robust hierarchical strategies for the order, for the status, so that everybody talking about the same thing, right? So when you communicating this different status to the customer, they are talking about the same thing.
Got it.
So there's a few things the customer could do, right? And also really need to define the right level of visibility. What do you want to communicate? What frequency, so that those are aligned with your KPI and eventually focus on the customer service.
Got it. So Rajesh, when our clients come to us, do they have in mind that they want this holistic strategy, or are they usually coming for point solutions in terms of projects? Where do we usually enter in with the company, and how would you rather they approach us?
I think customers are getting more and more mature. A few years ago, we saw customers looking at very point solutions, but now we see customers looking at end-to-end, which actually also involves measuring the maturity of the 3PL partners itself. Are they able to provide the data that we want in the fashion we want? And we see customers now even looking at their contracts with the 3PLs, and incorporating clauses that say that the 3PL should have enough infrastructure that will be able to provide us with the right data that we want to for a successful integration strategy.
Interesting. So for a company that is coming to us with these problems, how would you engage them? Does it have to be an assessment? Can we do project-based? What's worked best in the past?
I think first thing is to do a quick assessment. Where are they? What is their infrastructure? What is the process they're using? How matured is their partner ecosystem? To lay out a plan that what could be the few stages in which customer can achieve this. Obviously, it's not something that can be achieved overnight. The logistics expanse is very wide. They might have the regional partners. We have seen wherein we have taken step-by-step approach to get one region first, build the connectivity with those partners, get all the data tested out, then expand to the rest of the country and then international.
And then, Kathy, can you share any success stories about companies we've worked with, either money saved or user experience improved, time cut down? What are things that companies can look forward to if they do this correctly?
Yes. When we work with customer, our focus, and we have been able to help customer to really connect those data and orchestrate. And it is a platform that really helps them to connect the data across the 3PLs. And with that, we're really able to help them to increase the delivery on time and to consistently deliver on time to customer, to increase the order accuracy, so that all the order that the process through the system, achieve a 99% executable order. And on-time in full is one of them, very key metrics in the last mile delivery. And of course, every last mile, when you finish the delivery, you usually always get the status to customer saying, hey, you have received your product, how do we do, right? So that really helps us to capture the Net Promoter Score, which is the measure of a customer satisfaction. And with our help, we can help customer to improve their NPS score and customer loyalty.
Great. Well, Kathy, Rajesh, I really appreciate this brief conversation on the integration strategy of last mile delivery. I'm sure people found it helpful. I found it interesting. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.